Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Today we're taking a look at the DC Multiverse Red Hood figure, Target exclusive slash Walgreens exclusive. This is the Target exclusive that came with Nightwing, but I'm not reviewing Nightwing because it's the same figure we already got and he's just in red. So, and also this is just kind of a partial fix-up video because I actually figured out a way to fix the figure, because if you have the figure or if you've looked at it, you know that his wrists don't move. So yeah, that's what this is. Also, it's good to be back. I had to take a break. I had to step away for a while from doing reviews because I wasn't enjoying it anymore. Not the reviewing aspect of it, but collecting. Like, I didn't stop collecting, but I just went from, like, I went from buying things out of enjoyment to buying things out of like necessity to review, and I wasn't enjoying that I was doing that. So I stopped doing that. I stopped buying things like as soon as they came out because I was like, I need to have it because I need to review it. But I'm back now, and I have a kind of sense of what I want to do. I'm kind of getting back to how it was before, and I'm also hopefully soon gonna change this whole setup because I have a cool idea for what I want to do, and I think that it's something that you all will enjoy as well. But anyway, that's enough about that. Let's get into what Jason comes with. Jason comes with his signature pistols, and these pistols are actually really cool. They're the exact same sculpt. They don't really have any paint detail on them. They have like a silver paint over them, but they probably weren't cast in this. But the coolest thing that I didn't realize it until like the day after I got it, he has his symbol, his chest symbol on the gun. So that's pretty cool. There's a little chipped on mine, but it's a pretty solid sculpt. I like it. It was kind of hard to get into his hands, like how the Joker was. Not too bad though. But the hands that I have on him now, which I will show you all what I did with that in a minute. But these are nice. I like these. And now going over the detail of the figure, I love the entire sculpt of this figure. It's just phenomenal. I love the helmet. The helmet looks so good. It's perfect. The candy red, there's no paint scuff or anything really on mine. It's really solid. I like it. And actually, whenever you get them like next to other figures, it looks like there probably could be a head in here, you know? Like, it's not like a super skin-tight helmet, so it's kind of cool. The symbol on here, no real paint, scuff, anything. My figure has some pretty solid paint apps. There's no real mess-ups on it or anything, and there's no, like, missing paint or whatever. But this, I love the matte red for his emblem. What is the word I'm looking for here? I love the contrast between the matte color of the emblem and then the candy red of his helmet. And that's the only red that we get on the figure as well, which is pretty cool. And then we got the signature brown jacket, and it looks really good. His like whole undersuit thing, which actually has a couple of different paint apps throughout it, a little bit-ish. There's like some metallic kind of black that you can see here, a little bit here. He has metallic black treads, which is pretty cool, which is not a detail that was very necessary, but they did it anyway, and I like that. So, and then he's got the black, like kind of pads / sleeves underneath here, which is pretty cool. And then if you actually move this, you probably could, if you wanted to, take the jacket off and then find like different arms. So if you didn't want a jacketed Jason, you could do that. Oh, and then his, let's get his arms out of the way here. Look at his gun belt. I love the gun belt. The gun belt's pretty cool. Sadly, it doesn't stay down. I really wish that it did. I tried to take a rubber band and then leave it on here for like 6 hours to see if it would stay. And then it did for a little bit. And then as soon as I moved the leg, it was just, okay, go back to what I was before. So, it is what it is. I kind of wish his emblem was on the belt now that I'm looking at it, but it's not like a big deal. I don't think it's accurate if it was on there, but I just think it would have been kind of a neat little detail. And now going over his hands, which if you've been on the channel for any length of time, you know, Bane, of course. I gave him Deadpool's wrists, like gauntlet glove things, and then tombstones as well. But I took the Deadpool ones off of them and I slid them onto here, and then gave him the Arkham Knight Batman hands, because these actually are, these actually can give him articulation in his hands. The original hands that we got are these hands, and they suck, honestly. Like, they don't, like, you can see where the pegs are. His hands don't move. They're just like a whole stuck, they're just a whole stuck piece. And then the fact that if you look, like, this is how it would be ported on here, the hands move in too far, so he looks like he's going like this all the time. And then when he holds the gun, he holds them like that instead of holding them straight. But with these hands, these custom-ish, this little kit bash thing that I did with it, they fit perfectly fine. And then when it comes to putting the guns in the holster, as long as I'm not throwing them everywhere, they go into the holsters just fine. which, of course, as soon as I say that, they're not going to cooperate. There they go. There we go. Got that in there, and it looks nice. I like that. So, and no paint chipping or anything, because I've taken them in and out of the holsters several times, and I haven't had any problems with any paint scuff at all. So, I mean, be careful of it, of course, but it's working pretty well. And going over the articulation, his head can go up about that far, not very far, but whenever you get the whole torso and everything together, it looks pretty fine, so you can kind of get, you know, him looking up if you really wanted to. His head can go down all the way, which is pretty good. He's got some tilt, which is pretty good, give him a little bit of that cocky Jason attitude, and then rotation, of course. Shoulders can go up that far, which is pretty good. He actually has the shoulder cup thing inside, if you can see that right there, so just, you know, make sure that's not all twisted and stuff, and you shouldn't have any problems. Arms can go all the way around. He's got bicep swivel hidden by the sleeve piece here, which is a separate piece, because I can kind of move it. I don't know what it is. It's a separate piece. He's got bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that go up damn near all the way, even with the sleeves, which is pretty good. He has wrist articulation because of, as I said before, oh yeah, whenever you do the wrist, if you want to do this as well, if you want to change up the wrists, like, you know, and you find suitable little cuff links if you don't collect Legends or whatever and you just collect Multiverse. I don't know what you could use for those unless you just want him to have the gloves. I use the wrist pegs as well because the wrist pegs on these hands, they suck and they don't come out, and actually one of mine almost busted, so, but it is what it is. And then we got in the torso, oh yeah, he's got a lot of detents, so be careful. You won't break it. McFarlane stuff, people like to bash on McFarlane, and people still like to bash on McFarlane, even though these figures, these DC figures have been beautiful. And they've been making really good stuff over there with the Walking Dead line and all that stuff for years. So I don't know why people still continue to bash on good things. Whatever. Just be careful. It's not going to break, but be careful. Torso, when you use both of them together, can go that far, which is not bad. Can go back that far. The jacket doesn't really hinder. It kind of gets out of the way, so that's pretty good. Upper rotation and lower rotation, and then tilt, which is pretty good. And then the legs can go out better than Spider-Man. I know that we kind of got away from saying better than Spider-Man after the retro wave, but I think this is better than Spider-Man. And the legs can go that far forward, that far back. No thigh swivel. Actually, there is a little bit of thigh swivel. Double jointed knees that go up that far. Sadly, can't kick his own ass. Robo will be disappointed. No boot swivel or anything, but then we have the standard McFarlane joints at the feet, so he's got a little bit of rotation, and then back, forward, and of course, the most useless joint of all time, toe pivot. But the articulation, pretty solid on this figure. Everything is pretty solid on this figure. Once you get past the shitty hands that he comes with, it's a damn near perfect figure. Like, there's really nothing else. The only thing that they could have done to make this figure quote-unquote perfect is if they gave us a Jason Todd head, but even if they did, we really wouldn't use it all that much except for like for photography and stuff, because who would pose their Jason without the helmet besides me? If you look at my DC if you look at my collection video from yesterday, shameless plug, I pose a Mattel one like that, but that's because the helmet on the Mattel one sits about 5 feet too low, on like it's damn near the middle of his chest, and I don't know how that's even possible. But anyway, on to some size comparisons. Here he is next to his fellow family members in Dick and Barbara, and this is the original Nightwing that we got, not the red one, because I have that one on another shelf, and I've never liked the red, and I never will like the red, so if you like the red, you know, that's your prerogative. I just personally don't, but this looks good. I like their height altogether. His legs are a little spread too much, so he's about that tall when you get him like that, but then his legs kind of spread a little bit apart. Sadly, I don't have Damien yet, but I will have him on February 3rd, according to Amazon, because he went up for pre-order last night on Amazon, and I was able to snag myself one, so if you haven't yet, he may still be in stock, so go over there and get him. And I will be sure to review him, as well as the Mafex Hush Black variant Batman, because I plan on getting that for, I don't know if he won't be next week's video, but he'll be the week after that. And now here he is side by side with the Dark Knight's Metal Batman, and then the Joker from the Flash Joker Cyborg wave. And I'm so glad, like, McFarlane, just thank you, because you've finally given us a good Batman figure. We haven't had a good Batman figure, like, from a main line, you know, that wasn't like Mezco and Mafex, and even those weren't that great. You know, we've had a couple of good ones, like, other than some, like, some of them have glaring issues that are, like, you know, like the cape on the Mafex Hush Batman that's too fucking big. Even though it's good, you know, it's just, there's too many wires. It's too many wires. It's, I said it, it's too many wires. And I plan on changing the cape on the Mafex Hush one, which I might do that in a video, and you guys might get to see that. But then the Mezco stuff is pretty good. I like the Mezco stuff. The only one that I have is the Supreme, which I will show in a second. But we finally have a good Joker. We finally have a good Jason. We finally have a good Batman. This is great. We finally have a good, in scale among them all, we can recreate under the red hood. So, yay, finally. It's awesome. Here he is next to the Mezco exclusive Supreme Knight Batman. Yeah. And then as always, here he is next to Bane. My good old custom Bane, which is, he's sadly out of scale now. You know, he works with the Mafex stuff, and he works with the Mezco stuff, but he doesn't work with the McFarlane stuff. But that's okay, because we're getting that new Build-A-Figure Bane. Granted, he has, like, gray skin, and he's from that one story. But, you know, a simple repaint, which I won't do, and it could be a pretty damn good Bane, like, representation of Bane. Or, you know, just a cool Bane to have on the shelf until we get another one from McFarlane, which I'm sure we will at some point. I can't imagine that we won't. But this is pretty good. This is pretty good scaling. As I always used to say, and as I'm going to continue to say forever, you know, trick of the camera. Trick of the camera. You could do it. You could put them all together. You have Jason just, like, be standing here, like, I'm gonna fight, you know, I'm gonna come after you, blah, 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 blah. Have him like this, coming at them, or vice versa, you know. And it's not too bad. And then here he is next to the Black Series exclusive, Target exclusive thing, Din Djarin and the child Mando, which I gave him Gambit's best card staff, and also gave him I also made him a cape, so that's pretty cool. It was my first attempt at making a cape, and it actually turned out really well. And I probably will show that off in next week's video, which is going to be a bunch of figure fix-ups. So yeah. And then the SH Figure Arts Wonder Woman 1984 Wonder Woman figure, she's kind of crouched down a little bit, so if she wasn't crouched, she'd be about here. So you honestly could fudge him into your Figure Arts display if you, like, you know, trick of the camera. Trick of the camera, you could do it if you wanted to. So, not bad. Or if you wanted to have him be a weird bounty hunter in the background of a Star Wars display, you could do that too. Overall, I really enjoy this figure, and if you can find it by himself, I would suggest getting that. Or if you don't have a Nightwing, then get the Target exclusive 2-pack. But if you just want him, or hell, if you just want him and then you want a Jason Todd head, you could probably... This head's very tight on here. I've tried to pop it off. It won't come off easily just by itself, so be careful of that. But if you wanted to take the Nightwing head and paint it up a little bit and make a Jason Todd head, you could easily do that. So the figure doesn't go to waste. And it's pretty much, Nightwing's figure is pretty much just a whole black body, so if you wanted to make that into something else, you could do that too. Hell, you could even do what I was talking about earlier. You pop the arms off, make a jacketed Jason, or an unjacketed Jason. You could do that, and there you go. So yeah, I mean, actually, bang for your buck, you could probably get some good stuff out of that. So whatever way you can find him, I definitely recommend picking him up if you're a Red Hood fan, if you're a Batman fan, if you're, you know, a fan of good action figures, honestly, because it's a pretty solid figure, especially if you change the hands. So I would suggest doing that. If you don't, because, like, I was super excited about getting it, and then the hands thing, I was like, oh no, I don't like this. I don't at all. So I gotta change this right now, otherwise I'm not gonna like this figure. And then I did, like, literally within an hour of getting it, I had already changed the hands, so it made a better figure. And I will catch you all in the next one. See ya.